It's Sunday, July 26th, and it's time for Manga Market Analysis, where I'm looking at the sales of manga over the last week, primarily Saturday, July 18th to Saturday, July 25th. So I've got the Japanese top 10, and you know what's weird and wonderful about this one? In the top 10 of Japanese manga sold and light novels sold last week, the phrase One Piece heroines appears more than One Piece. So I'll get into it quickly. The top number one, Dragon Ball Volume 17. This was a BGS 9.2, sold for $3,900 from firstprint.net. I've bought from them often. This is the start of the Super Saiyan arc, or the Saiyan arc, I guess. So yeah, it's definitely a key. Hard to get high grades like that. Number two, we've got a Dragon Ball Volume 1 in a 7, went for $3,800. Number three, it's our first One Piece Volume 1, 8.5. This was an auction, went for $3,800. So definitely the One Piece Volume 1 first prints are cooling down a bit, right? So people are starting to learn how many's out there, what grades they're in. There's still only 9.8s that exist. What interests me most is this number four, and that's the One Piece novel Heroines. That one went for $3,500. This is the one I was watching when it was posted for $5,000. Of course, it's 9.8 with the OV. Didn't go for the full $5,000, but it did go for $3,500. Next up, we have a Demon Slayer Volume 1 in a 9.6 with the OB. At auction, this took in $3,056, so that's not bad. Number six, there's a Dragon Ball Volume 1, 6.5, $2,800. And at number seven, there's another One Piece novel for heroines, but this time it's the colorful version. Again, BGS 9.8, again with the OB, $2,300. Number eight, so it kind of warms my heart a little to see this one. Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon Volume 1 in an 8.5, $2,281. These Sailor Moons have actually been going up in price as One Piece comes down, it seems. Number 9, Dragon Ball 5.5, Volume 1, first print, $1,900. And finally, wrapping up the top 10, Jujutsu Kaisen BGS 9.6 with OB, $1,690. Okay, this is actually the third time I've shot this English portion now because my mic is giving me freaking problems. But anyway, for the longest time, I've always thought I could almost do like a naughty manga video because you'd be surprised how much some of them go for, like really. So let's go through the normal English manga first. There's a few of these. Battle Angel Lita, Last Order Volume 17, 2013, $250. This one always sells for huge money, so not surprising there. I don't know if I'm saying this one right, but Betex, $185. This is Volume 13. This is an old Tokyo Pop manga. This is a Shonen Jump Volume 0 or Issue 0, $265. Interesting to see these early 2003 Shonen Jump magazines, the English ones, starting to go for some money. Speaking of money, this one always. Spirit Circle Volume 4, very hard to find, $250. Here's one that's going to Beckett. Yu Yu Hakusho, the limited edition holographic manga, Volume 1. This is the 1,956 of 5,000, picked up for $600. Now let's go into the naughty section here. You'd be surprised. This is Does It Count If You Lose Your Virginity to an Android, Volume 3. What really surprised me is 29 bits. But it finally went for about 150 pounds, which is the equivalent of about $200 US. Next up is a series. I normally don't report on these, but there's just been too many high sales not to. Bondage Fairies, Book 1, but Volume 4. First printing, $300. There's a lot of Bondage Fairy manga that go for some pretty serious coin. And finally, I always get a kick out of this title. It makes me go, it gives me a chuckle. Of course, it's a pun on Battle Royale. This is Booty Royale, Volume 5/6 of the Omnibus. Went for $250. Well, that's basically it for looking at the week's manga. In case you missed it, there was the CGC slabs at San Diego Comic-Con. What really interests, and I'll post the link below, on their Facebook page, Cover Price is doing the coverage of these CGC manga slabs. I don't know if these are the final prototypes or not. I'm not a big fan of the design, but apparently they have a few more they're doing. And they're going to be doing manga pressing, which is kind of interesting, I guess. So, yeah, CGC is entering the marketplace by the end of the year for graded manga. Big news, a lot more exposure. What also interests me is that Cover Price is the one posting this. Because if they pick up, like I've said before, like a manga section on their app, so not only are they covering like comic sales, they're covering manga sales, like graded manga sales. That's big. That's big. So right now we're kind of went through the initial big whale boom, and now we're sort of, people are finding out, trying to figure out like how many's out there, what's the grades, what's what's the prices associated, what's fair market value. That's what like a Cover Price app will do, right? So it'll tell you all your research, all what's going on, how much people paid for a 9.4 of this particular without OB, that kind of thing. So kind of exciting, interesting times we live in. But anyways, thanks again for watching. Hope you learned something, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.